Hello, online world. This is Off the Record with Migs Bustos, and for today's episode, let us take a trip down memory lane. Personally for me, when I was beginning to be a fan of basketball, heavy talaga ako on collegiate sports, especially the Ateneo-LaSalle rivalry in the 2000s. Players like Renren Ritualo, Mike Cortez, Enrico Villanueva, L.A. Tenorio, these were the guys na in-idolize talaga natin. And bukod sa kanila, marami rin din tayong mga in-idolize na courtside reporters. Walang iba kundi ang mga pioneers of ABS-CBN Sports na si George Rocha Chu from De La Salle University and Patty Laurel Fillert from Ateneo de Manila. So ngayon, it is a reminiscing type of episode, and George and Patty have been kind enough to join us right here on Off the Record, and here is that interview. So we have now Patty Laurel Fillert and George Rocha Chu, of course known as Patty Laurel and George Rocha, Ateneo Days OG courtside reporters from Ateneo and LaSalle. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us here on Off the Record. Raise the roof.
Hello! OG!
OG!
You didn't call us Yoda. Matakot ka sa Yoda kung tawag.
Honestly, when people say OG, medyo na-offend ako.
Hindi siya offensive. Hindi siya offensive.
Pag sinasabi ko OG ako
Hindi siya offensive. Hindi siya offensive. Sige, rephrase ko na lang, pioneers.
A pioneer.
Pioneers.
Pwede.
Pioneers. Yan, pioneers. Totoo naman. Totoo naman mga pioneers na reporter ng ABS-CBN Sports. Of course, when Ateneo-LaSalle rivalry was so hyped up in the 2000s, just want to get the perspective of what it was like for you, Patty and George. George, I will start with you. What was it like during your years? Best memories as a courtside reporter?
Oh gosh, so many. It was just such a great opportunity for someone who, I was expecting college to just be college, like just study and meet friends and that's it. But this opportunity to be a sportscaster at that age and at that time was just I know it's such a privilege that not everybody had, and I really, really enjoyed every minute. Like there was, maybe the only thing I didn't like were the forums. But other than that, I loved every minute. Like you can't, the most memorable obviously is that we won 2 championships while I was there for 2 years. So that was, of course, the highlight.
Yes.
Like, thank you guys for winning.
Okay, Patty, for you.
Yeah, same. I guess I can totally relate with what George was saying. I guess we were kids when we did it. And so I think parang mix of being such a big fan and then you're actually put in a situation where you can also work while being a fan. Parang sometimes it was hard because I was still a kid and I was a Blue Eagle fan. So you're watching it as a fan and being kilig, but at the same time you're like, ay, kailangan ko pala makinig properly because it's for work. So I guess it was just a real rush and it was such a great experience and just the opportunity to meet a lot of people and learn so much. Yeah, so the best years. I mean, even my husband, nakukulitan na siya pag nag-reminisce ako kasi parang I drift away to another world.
This is a good reminder, di ba? Na sabi naman for your husbands na, we were legit.
We're legit. Too legit to quit.
Yes,
diba?
yes. And each of you had a championship. I remember, so George had 2, Patty had 1, 2002. Yes. Right. So, Patty,
nung nawala na si Ren, pumasok na yung championship ng Ateneo.
Si Ren pala. Si Ren pala.
Nung umalis na ako.
Wala na.
Umalis na wala yung charm.
Nawala yung charm.
Nagpilig.
Sasabihin ng players, ganon. No, but grateful kami ni George because we had really great players at that time. And I mean, we wouldn't have gotten the exposure that we got if they weren't on that level of caliber. So parang sa akin, it was more like, buta na lang magagaling yung mga players. Naka-airtime ako dun na.
Yes, because at that time, not all the games were aired. But if it's Ateneo-LaSalle, sure it's aired. No matter who wins, we're there.
Pero yun nga, you talked about players, Patty, na tawag mo dito, buti magagaling yung mga players. And I'm sure as a college student back then, nakita mo rin sila in campus.
Yes,
Diba?
definitely.
Were
In
there,
fact,
yeah, go ahead. Like
in fact,
friendships?
a lot of them were like my classmates in some classes. So like lalo na si Magno Membrere, Larry Fonacher, even si Baji, you know, they were my classmates in some classes. So I could see them on the court working hard. Like kasama ko sila minsan really early in the morning. I would go to their practices. And then magkikita-kita din kami sa classroom sometimes or in the hallways. And you'd even see like the older ones then. Parang you'd sort of understand how hard it was actually to be a student athlete. So parang, I guess I had a full appreciation of how hard it was to be a student athlete because I saw it talagang firsthand, di ba? And yeah, nakakatuwa kasi parang when nasa court, kilig na kilig lahat ng fans. You know, parang sila mga gods, di ba? Parang at the time, like pag sa cafeteria, or di ba, parang talagang titigil yung buong mundo, di ba? But pag seatmate mo sila or kausap mo sila, they're really down to earth, you know, they're really kuwela. And so it was nice to see both sides, like to see them shine on court and to see the whole crowd, you know, just go crazy over them, but also to see the human aspect, di ba? So yeah, nakakatuwa lang din.
Yeah. Ikaw, George, friendships develop amongst the team.
Gosh. Yeah. I grew up in a house of girls. It was just my dad who was a guy in the house, and not even our dogs or our pets were guys. They were all girls. So having brothers was something I totally missed out on growing up. So with the team, it was so nice because they really accepted. You know, I wasn't a player. I was just kind of like a kid, you know, covering their games. But they took me in, and what was nice is, yeah, we developed friendships, and I saw them as a group sometime last year, and it's nice to see everybody doing well for themselves. And at the time, I used to hitch rides with the players to go to the venue because sometimes we'd have class. Sometimes the games would be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And we'd have class, and I'd be like, I don't have a ride. I have a ride with you. So doon kami naging close. So
Like who?
that I hung out with, Eric Arejola, Mika Vaino, they're the ones with cars. So,
si Mika!
Si Mika. So the ones who would ride, we would ride together, Janon Buni, Manny Ramos, Andrew Saldana, lalo na yung mga Phil-Ams because wala silang kotse. So makikiride lang sila doon sa may kotse. And then ako din, parang, sasama ako ha. So we would ride.
Same venue naman eh.
In school, yeah, we hung out sometimes, but it was yeah, the friendship that I have with some of the guys, although some of the guys left already and we're all in different places. That's something that even if we don't see each other every day or we don't catch up all the time, when you experience the same thing with a group of people, it's something that you just can't change.
Yes, there's that connection na talaga. For me also, I'd really like to commend the coaching staff because like George, I came in with zero knowledge. So I had to really study. Like para siyang extra course for me. Like I had to study all the technical side. So it was really the coaching staff na talagang parang tutorial. Like they would literally draw everything for me, explain everything. And so even that, parang silang mga mentors ko rin.
Yeah.
And so, like everyone from the coaching staff, the players, even the fans themselves, di ba? Medyo marirecognize mo na yung mga fans when you go to the arena, di ba? So yeah, it was such a great experience.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll add to what Patty mentioned because Coach Joe Lipa was the coach during her time.
Yes.
And he was notorious for never granting interviews with reporters, di ba, Pat?
Pero sobrang sweetheart niya. It's so funny kasi parang bulldog on court. And then when you meet him, parang siyang lolo or dad na talagang actually very sweet to his, parang to his family and warm. So yeah, it's just good na parang you can experience, like you see how they are when they're a new performance level, and then you see how they are na parang, ganito pala talaga sila. Another funny story I had was with Rich Alvarez. Imagine, superstar basketball player. And then we did a commercial together. It was First Day High. Ako
Was
yung
that a
nerd.
commercial or was
Yeah,
it
it was a
a
commercial.
whole video? It was
And
like
a movie,
music.
and a
It was
video.
a
It was
music
like the
video,
full
right?
campaign. And he was like the MVP, tapos ako yung nerd. And part of our contract, we had to dance sa mga mall. As in,
lovely.
may mall tour
Wow.
na may choreography.
Wow.
Big time yan si
sumasayaw
Patty.
So can you imagine me and Rich Alvarez who's like a tower and me rehearsing our dance moves after na? But it was just a few years after our UAAP
Not long
relationship.
after, yeah.
So, sobrang nakakatawa kasi imagine he's this gentle giant who's so huge and a lit ko and we're like practicing our dance steps. Serious
Dancing.
But you know, like little moments like that, nakakatuwa when you see.
Yeah. What was the rivalry like? Siguro, well, given naman na yung on-court eh. Di ba? Intense, talagang walang upuan. Pero in campus, what was it like kapag nag-Ateneo-La na angasan ba? Di ba? Sigawan ba? Patty, for Ateneo, what was it like?
I guess parang for both Ateneo and LaSalle, it's like you just see the color. Like you just see everything blue, you see everything green, and so your emotions are like towards this big entity. Like your feelings are towards this green blob, and then their feelings towards us. Parang it's not really yung personal about each person na you're nitpicking. It's just more like your intense loyalty and love for your own that it sort of spills out into being palaban or yung talagang ready ka talagang rumamble. But at the end of the day, when you see it, it's just, there's still something unifying about the whole UAAP thing eh. Parang even if rivals kayo, parang you're still going through that season together. So I
You're all
remember
kids
sasakay ka
together.
ng MRT,
Okay.
diba parang you'll see the balloons or yung mga lahat naka-blue in one side and one side is green. And you just look at the MRT at nakakatuwa, di ba? Pag after a game, parang it's such a moment in Philippine history to see an MRT with a whole car of green and a whole car of blue. Tapos may masisingit na isang naka-yellow, yung naiwan sa isang game.
yung mga game before.
Yung mga boyfriend
Nagstay.
nag-stay, di ba? Kasi nagpasama, pero yung girlfriend niya kasi blue.
George, para sa LaSalle naman, like what was the rivalry like in campus?
Well, first of all, when I got this gig, my dad was like, I don't think I'll let you cover Ateneo-La Salle games. I'm like, Dad, this is my job. How can I say that? Because during his time, it was violent.
Yes.
So we kind
Hardcore.
of became more sophisticated, I guess.
Yes.
So, but the rivalry was real. And the thing is, you would really feel it at the venue, especially during the finals. You come in at Araneta Coliseum, you look up, and there is a net of blue balloons, and there is a net of green balloons.
And then yung drums.
That green one better come down at the end of this game, right? So
Or I will cut that net.
And the drums.
The
And the sound. The sound is just so
Yeah.
overwhelming. So it's that's right. What Patty was saying, it's the entity. You know, that the players, they know each other.
Yeah,
But
and they're
they're
friends also. Yeah.
friends. Although I did meet some people who are like from LaSalle, and they'll say things like, "No, wala akong friend from Ateneo." Parang it was really, there are some people who really take it.
It's
that
real.
deep.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, after all of this, I still come across Rico Villanueva, Wesley Gonzalez, those guys. We still saw each other in the PBA and the PBL, and it's like it's nothing. It was, but but the experience of a rivalry between two schools that is decades old is really something unique. It's not shared by
I love it.
schools.
Yeah,
I love it.
exactly.
I love the rivalry, and I think it made players better. It made Patty and I even better because we knew that this is a thing that people are watching and it's very real for them. So it was also real to us. So we had to like step up our game. But for the players, it had to everybody had to step up.
And you have to understand that this rivalry is not only for like our generation. It's like several decades of a rivalry formed. So it's like your tito, your tita, your batchmate,
Yes.
your cousin, ilan kayo going through the same emotions, same pikon, same asar at a certain person. So parang it was unifying in a sense that you could be with in a room with different age brackets and cheering for the same thing. And that's like what George said, it's so unique. Like even now I'm getting goosebumps. Like I remember
Yeah.
just entering Araneta and the drums, talagang yung kaba ko, yung parang sasabog na talaga yung puso ko. Like lahat ng wrong grammar lumalabas na sa bibig ko. Tense. Like, seriously, you're gonna give the mic now? Like, everyone's watching me. Like, the top 2 schools na sobrang tatalino, papanoorin nila ako. Seryoso ba to? Diba? So, the intensity was there. And just like George was saying, we were just like small, parts of this whole big franchise. Pero it even made us feel better, like feel honored to even be there, diba? So yeah, the intensity of the rivalry. So yeah, you can talk to someone right now, diba, who's from Ateneo-La Salle. Pare-pareho yung response.
Yes. And
So you
it's
still
a
do. You
rivalry.
still do. You still do. Parang yan, present games. You still do feel the same when you get to watch.
Yes.
For sure.
Sorry, let's talk about the internet. Not social media.
Wala
The World Wide
The World
Web.
Wide Web. Pinoy Exchange.
Ay.
What's the start?
Okay, so
I'll
marami
start.
kaming hugot. May 5 hours ba tayo?
Okay. Sige,
Yung mga
George.
nanonood na inattack kami
Okay, sige. Patty, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yung mga nag-type ng kung ano-ano, you know who you are.
Okay, well,
God sees you.
We'll find you. We'll find you. We'll come after you.
okay,
Big girls na kami ngayon.
Okay, for context, kasi ngayon Twitter, di ba? Facebook, Twitter.
What is that?
Siguro Friendster pa. Pero, di ba, there was PinoyExchange.com. There was the forums, Patty. Can you tell us more about that? Yeah.
It was pretty brutal. I mean, you have to remember that George and I were kids. We were like really young at the time. So even if we were on television, emotionally we weren't mature, right? So, hindi, mature ka. When we would receive it, di ba, parang ang sakit because we were just college students at the time. And I think people didn't really mean it. But of course, they thought of us like, oh, you're on TV. So, you're like, you should be ready for all of the backlash and everything. But, we were just college students. We're going to submitting our report. So, nung narinig namin, parang, syempre, I tried to be cool, but I'm not that cool. It would hurt those things on Pinoy Exchange. It was pretty brutal. It was really harsh, especially, George and I were just college students. So even if we were on TV, syempre bata pa rin kami. So we would really get hurt. And I remember we would be talking to each other and naging kami yung support system of each other because it's like, we both understood. Like, no one in the world would understand that situation except George. Like for me, siya lang yung nakakaintindi how it would feel to get hurt receiving like all those backlash from fans.
From anonymous people.
Yeah, from anonymous people who didn't know us personally. And so, yeah, it was pretty brutal, especially when it would lead to yung mga finals na talagang the rivalry would be so intense. Yun na, parang brace yourself. Talaga kasi,
Disconnect internet.
because it would be about the players and the players, I'm sure, 10 times worse pa yung sa kanila. Tapos kami parang collateral damage. Parang, oh, by the way, dun si George at si Patty, sama na natin.
Because now of the rivalry, they'll just find anything. Anything Ateneo, bash. Anything Lasal, bash.
I remember
Yeah.
a whole topic about me, parang totoong Atenean ba daw ako kasi ang barok ko daw.
Grabe naman maka-judge.
Like a really young adult, diba? You're already feeling so much pressure, with this job na talagang high intensity. And then you come home and then you get these comments from random people. So yeah, si Georgie naging support system ko.
Ikaw, George, what was it like for you, George?
Well, first of all, the job itself was high pressure. It was
Yes.
for me kasi I was the when the UAAP moved to ABS.
Yes.
When ABS started broadcasting, they took a chance and put out auditions for sportscasters per school. So I was the first. I was in the first batch along with
Pioneer.
Pia Arcangel, who is
Yes,
now
Pia.
an anchor in GMA, and then the Pinoy Exchange thing just added even more pressure. I think there's just so many. There were just so many comments, but they would comment. There would be comments about like how we look.
Physical, yeah. How you
Physical,
look,
like,
how you
it's like,
sound.
I'm just living in the college life. I mean, I didn't know that my nose was so gigantic, right? But they'll say, laki lang yun ni George Rocha.
Oh,
yeah.
Or
yeah.
the way we
No,
walk, the way we
everything.
talk, the stuttering,
The way you talk,
everything.
even like the way your head bobs or how you move.
Which we always did.
And I'd always do it because I'd be so nervous during the game.
Yes.
Or like, syempre,
Yes.
you have to understand, and I think a lot of people forget that we couldn't hear ourselves. Because can you imagine, you're in an arena with thousands of people screaming at the same time. You're listening to the commentator. You're listening also to the coach because you're simultaneously trying to pick up everything that you need to do. And then you have to speak, right? So you can't hear yourself. You can't hear who you're talking to. So you're screaming, diba? Sometimes you can't modulate as well. So everyone's like, ano ba yan? Yung boses niya. Ganyan. Parang
Yeah.
try mo kaya.
Taas ng
Ikaw
boses.
naman.
There were a lot of very supportive
Yes.
comments as well.
Yes.
So that one I'm super
They'd come to
thankful
your
for.
rescue, diba?
Yeah, they would defend.
Yes.
Kala mo close kami, pero gano'n. And then, but there
Yeah.
were also some really funny topics, like Patty and I were in a relationship.
Yeah, we have a
together.
relationship.
What?
And we're just
Yes!
like, what?
Like, they would have a forum about it.
crazy.
Nakita daw kami, like this, like that.
Yeah, or
It would reach that level.
Parang fantasy,
even,
ganon? Fantasy stories,
No,
like novel.
No, I don't know.
We don't know.
What?
Iba-ibang
That was so
Of
weird.
these things.
Oh, man.
It's or if it's not me and Patty, it's like me and an Ateneo player, or
Yeah.
she and
Yeah.
na parang walang-wala. Like, ano ba? Hindi ko nga kilala yung tao. But anyway, Pinoy Exchange
Yeah.
is such a different thing because it's also very telling of the time because there was no
Exactly.
social media
Mm-hmm.
then. There was no Friendster. Like, it was just a forum. It's like a offshoot.
Free
of a
for all.
forum.
Parang
Diba?
it was free for all. Just type as
This
you
was
want.
this is dial-up internet, guys.
Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
log into
Effort.
their internet
Yeah.
and wait for the connection, for the beep, and
Yep.
then log on.
Phone
It
card
took
pa yun.
long.
Yep.
It took long to log on to Pinoy Exchange.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
that effort na parang, wow, effort ka. Parang
Yeah, super passionate. But yeah, touching on what George said, nakakatuwa din when people would come to your rescue and like you feel the community eh. Parang they'll come to your defense like you're one of them. So yeah, there would be times you'd feel hurt, but there were times na parang, I matter. Diba? parang may naglalab pala sa akin.
Yeah, Pinoy Exchange was the
Yeah.
forum.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of spread out because we have Facebook pages and Twitter and all of that. But everyone at that time, 20 years ago, 19 years ago, came together at Pinoy Exchange.
Yeah.
Place
It
to
was
be.
the place
to
to
be.
be online. Yeah.
Tapos kapag yung mga thread, kapag mahaba na yung mga pages, 1 to 9, 11,
Oo.
12, 13.
Ah.
Kailan
Diba?
next.
Next.
Share pa eh.
Wait a
Oh.
minute. But wait a minute, Migs. How old were you during this time?
Well, I'll be honest kasi nga, parang it's very
Be
special
honest.
to me.
Be
I'll be
honest.
honest. I was... ano ba?
Your wife is
I was-
watching. You're in.
I was 12. 2000.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, my first ATENEO-LA SALLE game was the finals, 2001. Bumili ako ng 500
our
pesos sa
game, yeah.
scalper.
Oh, 500 big time? 12-year-old?
Gen ad. Humingi ako ng pera sa parents ko. But then, yun nga, I was watching UAP na. Kasi nga parang,
They're amazing, diba? Like,
yeah.
even now that I would host events, I'd see like a big brusco guy and he'd be like, oh, I used to watch you in the UAP. So I'd be like, oh, great. Batchmates ba tayo? Anong batch ka? No, I was
No.
9. 9? 9? Huwag tayo mag-chat. Hindi tayo mag-generation.
Hindi kasi talaga, di ba? And that's what it does, di ba? When you look back now.
Yeah, yeah.
Kumbaga, when
It
you look back, that
unites
was,
everyone.
and that was
Yeah.
so monumental, di ba?
That was really,
Pioneers nga talaga. Oh, lastly, okay.
you.
Thank you. Okay, so George and Patty, I'll give you the chance to promote, plug, anything. Go ahead, Patty.
Well, for me, I guess I just want to say to everyone, thanks for joining us. Migs, thanks for giving us this opportunity. I think for me and George, kinilig lang kami to be reunited after
Super.
18, 19 years. So this is actually something big for me. Like I told my husband, like, I'm going to be with George. So for us, this is such a gift. And to everyone who watched us, thank you for like reminiscing with us. And hopefully, diba, parang this is also a good throwback with also your friends from Ateneo and LaSalle. And you can know, this is the time that we're having social distancing. But it's also the time for us to be emotionally connected. So hopefully this episode encourages you to touch base with people you were close with in college or high school, diba? And have like good
Right.
conversations to check up on each other. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Migs, for inviting us. This is really, what Patty said, super nakakakilig. Because nobody interviewed us before.
Yeah.
Me, exclusive to, exclusive.
We're so used to doing the interviews, right? Our careers are being,
Yes.
we're the interviewers. Nobody interviews us.
Yeah, nobody cares about our lives.
That's why we keep talking and talking, because we're so excited to like talk and talk
Yeah.
and talk. But thank you so much for the opportunity of having us over, and to everyone who's watching. Same thing that Patty said. I do
Yeah.
want to take the time to check in on each other, your parents, your cousins, your titas, anybody who's far away or very near. Touch base. Now's the time to make halungkat all the photos in the baul. Like, it's
Yes,
great
I will do
seeing
that.
all of these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, during this time, let's take it slow. Let's wait and see. And in the meantime, be emotionally together with everybody.
All right, so there you have it. George, Rocha, Chu, and Patty, L'Oreal, Pilar, thank you so much for joining us here on Off the Record, and see you in the next episode.